Hi, today we're going to talk about one more competitor of actually Chrome extension rather than just a reply platform, and that is ContactOut. Again, this competitor was mentioned in the deinstallation forms in Chrome extension, so I decided to see what they have to offer. The first thing that I checked out is how they are looking for their emails, and clearly they are using the same technique or a similar technique like ours. Because, for instance, when you have first name and domain, the email address is found easily. But, for instance, in my case, the email address is generally not found by any of these prospecting tools because my first last name here is Laisa Mahas and my email is liz@reply.io. So that's a very good check to see what kind of databases they have and what approaches they use. And here we can see that as well, they weren't able to find my work email address. The thing that I liked is that it allows you, this ContactOut thing allows you to show what is most relevant for you. So for instance, if I'm a recruiter, I will probably disguise this personal email address. But if I'm working because I want some, I don't know, event with British Council, I'm gonna use this email address. So this is pretty useful because you can clearly open what's not necessary for you, what's needed for you. And also, like if you notice in the previous screen in here, it was the question marks here. So they're used when ContactOut is not certain that this email address is valid, and it even gives you the percent of confidence, which is also a good thing. Firstly, I thought that it's a bad idea to give unclear understanding whether this email address is valid or not, and that if you don't think it's good, you shouldn't show it. But as the practice goes on, I realize that people want to see this. And maybe some of them even want to take this chance. So I think it's a good idea to do it like this. Um, the thing that I didn't really like is that I wasn't able to save people without email. This is something we're working on right now, more or less, not we, Chrome extension team, but Artem and Anatol are working on that. And I hope you'll be able to do it because it's still useful to save those contacts. And here I searched through the list and there was a Sophia that didn't have email available. And I saved the whole list, but she was not here. So basically, I couldn't save a contact without email. It's already a second tool where there is the search filters inside the product. So you don't use Sales Navigator or LinkedIn to set up these filters. You do it within the product. And well, I do read reviews that it's handy and people like it, but I always thought that it's unnecessary because people who work with LinkedIn or Recruiter or Sales Navigator, they're probably more handy and more used to using their filters. So I always thought that this is abundant, this is unnecessary. But now I'm starting to think if this is actually a good idea to have these filtering options right in a product. So if you have an opinion of this, or if you're watching this and you know some of the clients asked about something like that, please let me know because this is something I'm not settled on yet. And I have noticed that this ContactOut is mainly for recruiters. And one of the features that they have that I'm also thinking about whether we need it or not as much is the GitHub link. So that's where there's a repository and the developers store their work there. So yeah, this is also very interesting for me to think about. And also if you have any feedback, if anyone ever asked you about GitHub and getting the GitHub profile, please let me know. That would be very useful. And as well, Twitter, yeah. Twitter is a more typical one with this scraping tools and searching tools. So this is, I think, something we should do as well because it's kind of a standard by now already, Twitter. So yeah, but again, if you have any requests about that or someone mentioned it, let me know. It'll be very interesting to hear. And well, yes, and phone numbers. This is I think that this is one of the biggest pain points for users of our extension now, that it doesn't show phone numbers. And yeah, this is something I believe we should change if you want to market our extension more of as an independent tool, not just a way to carry out tasks for reply platform. So yeah, the phone numbers are available, even several per person, and this is indeed something that is the demand of the market. And here we have also an opportunity to save up more than one email address. And I think that's also a good idea, like if you have two, like for your work and your personal one, or like some people have more email addresses, like Ola has like 8, right? So I think this is a good idea to let people save more than one email address and then think which one is best for them to use to reach out. And it does have also a direct integration with Greenhouse, which is an ATS, and with Salesforce. And they're coming up with 2 more platforms that they're going to be automatically synced with, and both of them are ATS. So basically, it's clear that they're moving in the direction of recruiters, and it's clear that that's the market they're most interested in. So yeah, and it works pretty nicely. I was able to connect my Salesforce account. So you basically just have a button saved to Salesforce. It's very handy. I like it. If we are ever going to have it in Chrome extension, I see it similarly, just like a button to save to Salesforce. Also as easy and in the UI. And I really liked that they had different subscription plans for kind of different users, like the sales one and the recruiter one. This is also something I believe we should do if we are going to promote again and develop more our Chrome extension, if we're going to enrich our database, and if we're going to buy phone numbers and all of that, then I think that it's useful to separate plans for recruiter and for sales. And for instance, in the recruiter plan, to provide more of a personal email addresses and provide as well a personal phone numbers, and in sales more of, and of course here work with recruiter, and here's work with sales navigator. So differences. And I think that's really cool because people like paying for something specific, something that is kind of a tailored to their needs. And I think this is a good way to make them feel like, okay, I'm a recruiter, this is a recruiter plan, I get what I actually need, meaning personal emails, personal phone numbers. So yeah. And here they also promoted that they have a sending email option, but I wasn't able to do anything with this. And I'm just going to show you how really awfully it's done. So here's this ContactOut extension. And here I click on send emails. And it takes me to the not found page, which is really a terrible user experience. And I read into it, and I figured out that it's just not present in the free plan, which is okay. But really, this is not a good way to communicate that to your customer. They could have, I don't know, make it way more attractive for me to actually buy this plan where this is included, because this way I don't get any information whatsoever. So this is, I think, the worst thing about the whole the whole tool. Okay. This is also an interesting one. It's like I know I am one of those people, and I know that people sometimes like to open like 10-15 tabs, and then for instance they want to save all those contacts, and there's this option save all tabs. So actually it saves the contact information from all the open LinkedIn tabs that you have. It is not a must-have, I would say, but it is something interesting that I found and wanted to share. It doesn't, ContactOut doesn't work with sites. It doesn't scrape information from the sites. And also it's kind of a, it's kind of become a standard for that to happen. And I actually want our Chrome extension to be able to extract information from the sites, from the public sites of companies. So I was surprised to see this. And actually, I have read several reviews like, oh, I wish that worked. And let's move this on. Yeah. Here we are at the user feedback. So I have read very, very many reviews about this finding tools on very many tools so far. And if I had to summarize everything that is ever written, the good things that what people want is very simple. They want accurate information. They want a lot of information. They want to have phone numbers, not just emails. Yeah. So those three are always, no matter what tool it is, those three will be the most typical feedbacks, positive feedbacks, like, oh, I'm able to find accurate information. Oh, there is enough information. There is a lot of information that I can get, and like I get phone numbers. So yeah, this is something we should most focus on. I think that enlarge our email database, get phone numbers, and make sure it stays up to date, so people don't reach out to unexisting email addresses or phones. And here it's more or less everything that I said. It's easy to use. Yes, it is indeed pretty easy to use. No problems with it. It doesn't slow the laptop. No. Here I also added this. I love using the search feature directly from ContactOut. It's such a time saver. So apparently people like to this option to filter out contacts within the platform, up-to-date info. Yeah, and here is, I always, when I look for reviews, I have very sharp eyes for reviews that not only express like the facts, like, okay, this many emails found, like this many phone numbers accurate, but to see emotional dependency on your product. And here I saw it very clearly. Like, I'd be lost without it at this point. And I'm ready to bet money that this person is not going to leave ContactOut easily, because they are emotionally invested, because they already fear that they would be lost without them. So this is something I want users of Chrome extension to feel, let's say, and reply platform as well. This kind of emotional connection, this need, if you must. Yeah, and also there was a lot of positive feedback that they keep their extension and their platform very small. There are not too many features. It doesn't, for instance, pull up photos. It's really several clicks, not much stuff. And some people like it because it's like the product stays focused and it's not like an everything product. And what users dislike? Well, this is the easiest question as well. Again, of all the reviews I did, of all the email finders, things that people don't like: no information on the contacts they need information on, outdated information, yeah, well, and lack of phone numbers, yeah. So yeah, and here I said that I like that there are multiple email addresses and multiple phone numbers sometimes as well, and I still do like it. But this person kind of had a hard time making sure that they know which one is still kind of in use. So maybe there was a way to rank them and to say which ones are more recent or something like that. Well, and here, this is the quintessential answer: what people dislike: profiles with zero contact info, outdated contact info. And let's see what I have selected here. Yeah, about prioritizing, if there are several emails or phone numbers, to prioritize them. And here, like, I hate feedback like this. So the person said, it only works in LinkedIn. If it would also work on the other platforms, would be even better. Which other platforms? So yeah, so there is some need expressed, there's some dislike expressed, but it's so vague that it's hard to understand which platforms this person needs. Yeah. And here I see that, well, this is a problem. This is a typical problem. So if a person puts in like PhD, MBA, or whatever else in their name on LinkedIn, the extension thinks it's a part of their name, and the extension starts looking for like, yeah, GMBA at ContactOut.com. So basically, titles, or sometimes it's stars or weird symbols. Sometimes they just skew your data because the extension can't differentiate that this is not a part of the name. So this is it. This is what I have found on ContactOut. If you have any thoughts on the matter, if you liked, disliked something, please let me know.